Titanic was sailing with complete confidence in the ocean waters, but she was not sailing with complete confidence in what could happen. Jack Dawson. Titanic carried men, women, and children, but she could not carry arrogance and vanity. Garrett Downey. Titanic represented a huge human achievement, but she proved that humanity cannot surpass nature. Donald G. Johnson. Titanic considered safety to be the most important thing, but she reminds us that it is about the details and focusing on every detail of safety. Michael Devey. Titanic was one of the greatest technological achievements of its time, but she reminds us that technological achievements do not always guarantee success. Stephen Harper. Titanic was bleeding like a human being, slowly and gradually, but in the end, there was nothing that could be done to save her. Walter Lord. These are some of the quotes that have been said about the Titanic tragedy, and which summarize some of the different aspects that can reflect the meaning of the tragic event. Titanic was sailing with confidence in the ocean waters, but she reminds us that excessive confidence and haste can lead to disaster. Robert Benson. Titanic was transporting people across the oceans, but she reminds us that true opportunities for communication come when we communicate honestly and openly. John Bird. Titanic was carrying a lot of wealth and jewelry, but she reminds us that material things do not bring true happiness. Peter Johnson. Titanic was carrying many brave men and women, but she reminds us that true bravery comes when we face difficulties with sincerity and faith. Stephen Covey. Titanic represented an era of time, but she reminds us that time changes and does not last forever. Sarah Forster. Titanic was carrying many dreams and aspirations, but she reminds us that dreams do not always come true and that life can take unexpected turns. Jonathan Swift. Titanic represented the strength of humanity and its ability to achieve great things, but she reminds us that humans are not free from mistakes and flaws. Kelly Willis. Titanic was carrying many hopes and expectations, but she reminds us that life can be harsh and unexpected at times. Daniel Brown. Titanic represented many different things to different people, but she reminds us that differences do not prevent us from communicating and cooperating. Jennifer Miller. Titanic was carrying a lot of hope and optimism, but she reminds us that hope can grow from pain and difficulties. David Robinson. Titanic was a model of advanced technology at that time, and it was a huge achievement in the field of marine engineering. David Brown. Titanic represented extreme luxury and opulence, and it was an example of Western civilization in its time. John McManus. Titanic was one of the most important events of the 20th century, and it still has a significant impact on popular culture and public awareness. Christopher Winton. Titanic was a real human tragedy, and it reminds us of the importance of safety and good preparation for such crises. Robert Mackenzie. Titanic reminds us that excessive confidence in technology and human nature can lead to tragic disasters. James Smith. Titanic reminds us that life is short and subject to change, and we should enjoy every moment and not compromise on the real and important things in life. Karen Barton. Titanic reminds us that humanity is capable of solidarity and cooperation in difficult times, and we can survive and continue our lives despite the hardships. John Doe. Titanic reminds us that ethics and human values are the foundation of civilization and human progress, and we must maintain them in all our situations. Robert Johnson. Titanic reminds us that life is just a short journey, and we should enjoy every moment of it and work to achieve our goals and dreams before it's too late. John Doe. Titanic reminds us that loss and difficulties can bring humanity, solidarity, and cooperation, and can create new opportunities for growth and development. Stephen Connolly. Titanic reminds us that strength and arrogance can never replace wisdom and humility, and we must respect and appreciate those who are more powerful than us and acknowledge that we are all equal in the end. Maria Jones. Titanic reminds us that courage and sacrifice can be shown in times of crisis and can make a big difference in the lives of others. Catherine Harrison. The Titanic disaster is an important historical lesson for humanity, as it reminds us of the importance of caution and proper preparation before making any important decisions. It also emphasizes the importance of ethics and human values, and reminds us that life is short and subject to change. Therefore, we must make the most of every moment in our lives and work towards achieving our goals and dreams. It is important that we learn from the mistakes that occurred in the Titanic and try to avoid them in the future, so that such a tragic event does not happen again.